Hey everybody, Jordan here with Little Oak Survival. So welcome back for the second episode in Trauma 101. Alright folks, so why we're learning about wound packing and pressure bandages as opposed to tourniquets right off the bat is for a few reasons. Number one, I don't think the average person out there carries tourniquets in the first place. Number two is I don't think the average person out there carries any kind of medical equipment in the first place with them. Either in an IFAC, some kind of bag, or whatever it's going to be, belt kit, on the person, about the person, the vehicle. I don't think the average building out there in the United States actually has good trauma kits inside of them, where if a person or persons is having a massive bleed incident, say from stabbing, gunshot wound, fall, whatever's going to happen, right? I'm not going to rely on that. I want to rely on myself, knowing that I have the knowledge, the training, the equipment on hand to help myself, okay? First and foremost, my loved ones, friends, random stranger, okay? That's why we're going to learn it this way. Now, that being said, what are pressure bandages and wound packing for in the first place? The primary use is for junctional sites, right? The neck, the armpits, the groin, the buttocks, the joints, those type of areas. No, not the chest cavity or the abdominal cavity. You don't want to pack those full of gauze because it's not going to do anything. It's going to do more harm than good, and for the reason why later on in this series. Now, that being said, I would like to also say that you can use the materials for wound packing, so gauze of some kind, whether it's impregnated gauze or just regular gauze, and or pressure bandages, again with regular gauze impregnated, and or an ace wrap of some kind to create pressure, elastic bandage, right? Or just your regular clothing that you might have spare on, or some kind of cotton material around you that's going to help control bleed. Now, that being said, really that's about it for reasons. We're getting into the whole situation of how to do this because it's not a very hard skill to teach, understand, and imitate what I do here in this video. Again, this is not training, this is information. Just don't watch this video, actually go out, get the stuff, train. Now, you can pick something up like this. I think this was about $50 on Amazon. I forget what exactly it's called, but and the brand of it, but it's basically just a bleed control kit and a little tool they can buy. Or you can make your own out of, say, some kind of foam block at home, and you can just cut a hole, puncture a hole for a laceration and penetration wound, and there you go. You can start training, right? Now, that being said, I also want to point out, yes, there is actual commercial-made stuff. It has been for a very long time now. Most famously is North American Rescue for their really good products. I'm not paid to say that. I'm not a show for them. I just think they have really amazing products in the first place, and I ordered some from them years and years ago, and I still do to this very day. That's how much I like that company. Now, that being said, let's get in the whole skill set here because, like I said, not much to learn. So, our scenario is we're out hunting with our friend, I don't know, Dave, right? Okay? So, Dave's being a silly goose. He decides he needs to relieve himself. He steps off the trail, whatever it's going to be, right? And he steps over a pine tree that's down. Doesn't see the sharp pointy stick on the side facing towards his right. As he steps over, he loses his footing for whatever reason it's going to be. Stick impales, okay? Dave freaks out, pulls his leg. Stick doesn't come with him, so he now has a clean puncture, right? He falls over the log. Okay? First things first, we know Dave is now still conscious because he's screaming and swearing. Great. That also means his airway is patent because he's screaming and swearing. Perfect. So we know that much. Now, this situation, first things first, we want to keep ourselves safe because instead of one patient, we're going to have two if we're not. So, is seeing safe. Yep, no creepy mimes hiding anywhere, going to push us on the log or anything like that. We're not going to trip, we're not going to fall, we're not going to hurt ourselves. We can get to our friend Dave and treat them. Pause real quick. I want you guys to understand something, at least here in the United States. Most states of some kind of Good Samaritan law does exist, to my knowledge. I'm not a lawyer. But take this for what it's worth, grain of salt advice. If your state does have Good Samaritan laws, understand what those are, how they work, and how they function legally, because you don't want to get yourself in trouble. Because say you don't know Dave. Dave's a complete stranger, right? I don't even know his name. What you want to do in that situation, and I know it sounds corny and stupid and cheesy, but you want to come up to them and go, excuse me, sir or ma'am. I know it sounds really dumb. But, or hey, whatever you want to say, but excuse me, sir or ma'am. And you want to come up calmly, not all chaotic and all panic, because chaos breeds chaos. But you come up, you introduce yourself, like, I'm Jordan so-and-so, I'm an EMT, I have my medical gear, may I treat you? That's simple, okay? Most people will go, yes, please help me. There are some people out there, for whatever personal reasons they have, Either they're just really angry at that point in time, they don't want you to touch them, they don't want you near them, whatever, okay? Maybe they have the DNR, who knows? And they just want you to leave them alone. You gotta respect that, back away, okay? You're not God, you're not gonna control them, you're not gonna have any kind of interaction with them at that point in time. Even as an EMT, I have to respect that and go, okay, patient refused, they can't touch them. However, what I can do as a good Samaritan, I can sit there and call 911. They can't control I call 911, but they can control if I can touch them or not. So that is what it is. Leave the chips where they fall. Anyways, back scenario. Now, Dave's hurt. Dave's screaming and swearing. Okay, he's really angry, but he's like, yeah, please help me, dude. Okay, cool. So I'm going to hop over the log carefully. I'm take my pirate bandana, my hat, whatever it's going to be, some kind of extra cloth that I have on me usually. And I'm going to go, hey, I'm going to put pressure on your wound, okay? And that's after you expose it, if it's not already exposed. In this case, you have to like rip his pants or whatever, or you can use your shears, what it's going to be. But you expose again. Ooh, okay, so you can put that there. This is going to buy you time to get your equipment out. Say Dave is conscious, cool. Hey, Dave, can you hold this real quick? Keep pressure, bud. I'm going to get my stuff out. If Dave is unconscious in the situation, say he tripped, conked his head, okay, I understand, you know, concussions are scary, whatever, but what's more scary is your friend dying from a massive bleed. Now, real quick, what is the difference between a arterial bleed and a venous bleed? Can anybody tell me? Right, okay, so an arterial bleed has that usual, keyword usual, bright spurting blood, okay? So every time your heart takes a beat, boom, it's going to spurt blood because there's a hole in your artery. Venous bleeds, usually, again, keyword usually, has some kind of dark, oozing, steady flow of blood. It could be a fast, steady flow. It could be a slow, steady flow. But either way, it's going to be flowing out at a steady pace, right? So that's the main difference between the two. It's not always going to be exactly that, and you have to be careful. But in this case, stop the bleed, okay? Say he is unconscious, like we said. You can use your elbow. You can use your forearm, right? This does have the problem of more dispersed pressure, so elbow is best. So elbow down. Bring your med kit where you can get it. Whether it's in your bag, on your person, or it doesn't really matter. We're going to open this bad boy up. Okay? And say it was an arterial bleed. That's why I carry 2 tourniquets with me. Minimum 2. Okay? But, say it's not. Say it's not spurting blood. Okay, I'm going to set these to the side or leave them in the bag. Whatever you want to do. I don't really care. Now, I'll put on gloves, first things first, because say I know Dave, we've been friends since childhood. I know he doesn't have like some kind of crazy disease or anything like that, bloodborne pathogen. I don't have anything, but your hands may be soiled. We want to fight infection where we can, so we put on gloves. Plus, on top of that, nursing world saying, if it's wet and not yours, don't touch it. It's true, so don't do that, wear gloves. Now say I'm going to get my stuff out. Roll gauze. First things first, you want to have this white flap all prepped up. You want to have it folded. Hope you guys can see that. Okay, you want it folded down. So when it comes time, you can actually sit there, grab it, and open it easier with gloved hands on. You might be freaking out a little bit, whatever it's going to be. Might be a panicker, that's okay as long as you render aid. Elastic wrap, okay. Again, this is from Dollar General, not very expensive stuff. And you want to have some kind of Gorilla tape. Why? Because medical tape is for pussies. Not really, but the case may be that say it's hot, he's sweaty, whatever's going to be on. It could be more of a puncture wound to the chest. Now you're doing a chest seal that's improvised, which hopefully not, but if you have to, you have to. You want tape that's going to actually stick really well to, I want to say the word, moist, but moist surfaces, because you might be panicking, might be diaphoretic and whatnot, as in he's sweating all over the place. Gorilla tape works best for that, opposed to medical tape. Humble opinion. Anyways, back to what we're doing. In my case, I have some Cellex granules. Now, granted, I said I had worst of the worst here. And that's why I have it, is because I want to show you guys how to use this stuff. Now, this stuff is like ashy sand, if that makes sense. So it's really lightweight and it gets into everything, right? Now, I know the industry has moved away, the medical industry has moved away from granules in a large part because they have impregnated gauze. But again, we don't have impregnated gauze here because of cost, or we didn't have any or whatever. We do have this stuff. So, the advantage of this stuff is it's cheap. It's in a package. You can get a multiple amount of packages here for relatively inexpensive. But the downside is these activate with any kind of moisture that it comes in contact with. So if it's raining out, if the wind's blowing and Dave is screaming and it gets in his mouth, his eyeballs, and his nose, bad day for Dave. So don't sniff this, don't eat it, don't put it in your eyeballs. Be careful with it. So we have all our stuff out here, okay? 4 things. Well, 5 if you count the gloves. Now I'm going to take my gauze roll here. Okay, you can toilet paper it if you want to, as they call it. Just unroll it like you usually do. Or you can reach from the top. In this case, if Dave's unconscious, right? Reach in, pull it loose from the top, because what you're doing is basically starting at the end of the gauze roll inside of it. So now it's already kind of pre-packaged in a nice roll, dye mosquito. And you can sit there, make a monkey ball if you want to. What I like to do is kind of take my gauze, and I'm going to fold it, right? So it has a nice little pocket to it, and I'll show you guys why. Now, the reason why I pull from the top is we can pull this out, put it underneath our armpit here, so you can secure it, unless it's really sweaty, you don't want to put it in your bag. But either way, you can put it in your bag, underneath your arm, doesn't really matter. Take some of the Celux gauze, or hemostatic agent here, excuse me. You're going to put it on there, in this little pocket we made, roll it up, boom, you got hemostatic gauze now, essentially. So, what we want to do from here, say Dave is still unconscious, and we take this and we can put this in our bag, we can leave it where we want to, it doesn't really matter. Just be careful and conscientious about the hemostatic agent and the gauze. We're going to move this. Now, we can either, depending how big this is, and this is pretty big, it's about, you know, maybe ½ inch wide or so, we can probably see down in there. We can either take our bandage here and move the pool of blood out of the way so we can see where the bleed is exactly, because with our gloved fingertip we can go, aha, pinpoint, and put pinpoint pressure on that to stop the wound. If you can't see it right away, or if this is completely soaked or whatever, or maybe you don't even have this in the first place, you can always take water that's potable, water you can drink, pour it in the wound at a decent flow rate. That's going to knock loose all that pool of blood. Be careful of the clot. I understand people are going to comment about that, but be careful of the clot that may be formed. Yes, it's true. But you can see down in there. Now granted, if it is pooled, you can kind of turn the leg with the gloved finger, wipe it out. Yes, it's very painful to the patient, I understand. Now that also does let us know, is there any stick debris in there? Because if there's any debris in there, I don't want to push more splinters into them. However, risk versus reward, that's kind of for you to decide. Me personally, I'm going to push gauze in here either way. So say that I see the venous bleed, okay? Because feeling for it is kind of so-so. It's not really a viable choice, and a lot of people say you can feel it, and sure, some of you can, but most of the time you want to use your vision if you can help it, if you can see it. Now, impregnated gauze, pinpointing the pressure with our gloved finger, we want to trade that out, okay? We want to shove our finger, whatever, probably the smallest one we can actually afford, so in my case pinky, but pointed finger, whatever it's going to be. We want to take this, pinpoint it, take some more Celux, pour the rest of the package in there, and we're just going to put more gauze in there. We're going to pack this completely full as much as we can. And why? Because we're going to have more pressure in here the more we pack in here. And pressure is key to controlling bleeding, especially critical bleeding. And yes, if you didn't have tourniquets, this would be the same thing you do with an arterial bleed. Is it the best thing to do, the best option out there? No, but it's better than just sitting there watching somebody die. So we're going to do this. Pack it completely full of, I was going to kill that wasp. Pack it completely full. So, I have a little bit left, probably a lot left actually. I'm going to cover that wound as much as possible, right? So we still have pressure. Now if Dave is unconscious, okay, cool. If he's not, he can hold this while my wrap doesn't really matter at this point in time. But I'm keeping my upper body weight on my hand on that wound, okay, like this, or elbow again, forearm, however you want to do this, guys. It's kind of a fun thing about emergency medicine is you can kind of really game this up as much as you want. So, take your ace wrap, again, cheap is the cheap. I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to secure it with my hand here, right? I'm going to pull up. I'm going to go around. Now, I can either lift the leg, put it on my shoulder, support it somehow, backpack, whatever it's going to be, right? When we go under, we're going to pull, come around again. I like to go around twice personally. So we're going to pull down and away, up and towards. So wrap. We're going to do the same thing again. Now this time, we're going to sit there, pull up tight, and we're going to turn. Okay, we're going to create an X in our ace wrap. I'm going to try to land that right on top of that bandage right here, okay, that dressing, whatever you want to say. That was creating pressure more so on the gauze, which is creating more pressure on the wound inside of the leg in this case. So we're going to go around. Now you can either, and say this is the knee and this is the foot, you can go onto the bottom towards the foot to help keep that gauze in place. and go around, go to the top, again, keeping the gauze in place if you want to, or you can keep putting the X right on the mark. Okay? Just remember the X on the mark. Just keep doing this, and yes, it'd be a lot faster in real life if I wasn't recording this for YouTube, but hey, you know, instruction is instruction. So just keep doing this. Now, when we get towards the end of the ace wrap, okay, again, experience-based, we're going to do what we did in the beginning. Pull up and towards, creating more pressure, and then down and away. Up and towards, down and away. Now, with our Gorilla Tape here, okay, we can take this whole thing, if it wasn't, say, secured to your bag, and you wrap it around the ace wrap. Okay, cool. If not, you can take little tabs, tear them off, and secure it. Who cares? However you want to do that. Now, that's how you pack a wound, create a pressure dressing. It's going to be the same process for, say, a laceration. Let me find my... Now we'll just use this. Alright, say it's a laceration. Say this is a gauze roll or just whatever, right? Okay, we want to sit there, knock any pool of blood we can, using our fingers gently or some water, preferably, because that's going to help knock out bacteria. Even though infection is not really what we're worried about at this point in time. We're worried about our friend bleeding to death. You can sit there and you can see, hopefully so, in a large laceration, where the main bleed is. So you're going to sit there, powerball it, hemostatic agent, whatever you want to do, gauze, and you're going to pinpoint it there. And you're going to kind of Z-fold it down the laceration. And then you're going to repeat with the ace wrap what you just did and secure it in place. So that's puncture and laceration. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Very simple techniques to understand. Again, go out there, practice. Don't just be a lump on a log. And as always, guys, stay frosty, prep up. God bless.